What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Malcolm Tibbs. I spent 25 years getting inconsistent results in my love life, and now not only do I have a fulfilling relationship, I also have the ability to go out, snap my fingers, and have half a dozen dates lined up within a week. Now, for the last 8 years, I've been doing self-improvement, and in that time, I thought I just needed to go Andrew Tate mode and, just become a high-value man, make more money, get bigger muscles. And I'm going to tell you from my own experience and from helping other men, the best return on your investment in terms of quality of life and motivation and just overall enjoyment is going to be getting a girlfriend. Now, making more money and getting bigger muscles, those things help. Those things do make your life better. But the best ROI, the best return on your investment is going to be learning how to date. All right. And that's a series of little tiny micro skills underneath that big umbrella term of dating. Okay. But if you can learn how to set up a dating profile that actually gets likes, if you can learn how to approach a woman and start up a conversation just to kill time, if you can learn how to get a phone number from just a random conversation throughout the day, right? All these little things, if you can learn how to make them into habits, well, then you're going to be able to just naturally line up dates without really trying, without really thinking about it, okay? And if you really, really want to go out and be on some fuckboy shit, well then yeah, you can really put the pedal to the metal, and you can have a couple dates lined up in a few days. It's really not too difficult once you know what you're doing. But in order to get to that point, where it's almost like riding a bike, right? Once you know how to ride the bike, it's simple. You don't have to think about it, and you never forget how to do it. But the first time is hard, and you only get to the point where it's easy by falling on your face over and over and over again. It's the same thing with dating, okay? You need to go out and get more reps. And I'm going to tell you from my own experience and from helping other men, the only reason why you haven't gotten those reps is because of anxiety. Because you cannot predict what is going to happen when you do this certain behavior. Despite seeing other men do it, despite seeing all the movies where the guys do it, you just haven't done it yourself. And so your brain is not willing to take that leap, even though there's a bridge, right? It knows there's a bridge. You can see there's a bridge, but you haven't experienced that for yourself yet. And so you need to get more reps. Point blank simple. Like you're running an experiment, all right? You can't run an experiment once and get a result and just claim this is the way the universe works, because another scientist across the world is going to run that same experiment and he's going to get a different result. And he's going to say, well, no, that doesn't make sense, right? It's the same thing with yourself. You need to go out and do things multiple times and get more iterations so that you can get more accurate data, all right? And in order to do that, the very first boss that you have to slay, the first hurdle you have to get over, is anxiety. And you do that simply by getting experience, right? So yes, in a way, you kind of do have to just feel anxious and scared, and you're not going to know what's happening, and you still have to do it. You still have to hop on the bike, even though you don't know how to ride it yet. But you're going to learn, okay? And you have to trust that you're going to learn. You have to trust that this brain inside of your head is in fact the most potent, the strongest supercomputer that we know how to manufacture as a species, and it learns, right? It's the only reason why we've gotten this far as a species, because your brain is very capable of adapting. All right. All that being said, if you want to land your first date in the next 30 days, click the link in the description below. All right. The link is going to take you to an online community filled with other single men who are focused on improving their dating skills. It's completely free. You can swap notes, get feedback, maybe even find a wingman in your area. And inside, you're going to find a 30-day challenge, which goes over all the steps you need to take in order to land your first date. All right. I want to get back on this idea that it's difficult or that it's impossible to get a girlfriend, right? There are some men out there who feel like they need to leave America or get a passport and go to a different country in order to find the kind of woman that they're looking for. And these men do not understand that they can just make the woman that they're looking for, right? Almost like you get a dog and you don't want your dog to shit in the house. You train it, right? And when you become the kind of man who is adept at dating and influencing other individuals, you're going to find that women are highly trainable and they're eager to be trained. They want to fit the description that you're looking for, okay? That's a micro skill, learning how to qualify a woman, learning how to screen her for certain traits and characteristics that you want. In that process of qualifying a woman, like asking her, are you more of like a bad girl? Or are you more of a good girl? Are you naughty? Or like things like that, right? Learning how to qualify a woman, she is going to inevitably jump through your hoops. And when you start to qualify a woman, she's going to get more invested. Okay? And so you can use these qualifiers, these little, it's a micro skill that you will learn as you start to date, right? You can use these qualifiers to make the perfect woman for you, right? You can say, oh, do you go out and party every weekend, or do you stay inside the house more often, right? Because I really like girls who are more down to earth, who like reading books, stuff like that. And she's gonna, of those two options, she's gonna say, yeah, I like to stay inside and read books. And that's just kind of how I get down. I used to go out and party, but she's going to adapt and change herself to fit your narrative, right? That's like one of the most magical parts about being a man, is that you do have this more dominant narrative, and that if you know how to spin it right, other people will be willing to adopt that narrative and play whatever role needs to be played in order to fulfill that narrative, okay? Again, I'm just speaking from my own experience, from what I've observed, and from what I've seen helping other men, okay? This is just how it works. You get more reps, you're going to get better at dating. If you get better at dating, you don't need to leave the country, or you can make a woman into the kind of woman that you want. And in my experience, the kind of woman that you're going to want as a man, if you're focused on self-improvement, isn't necessarily going to be the prettiest girl out there. It's awesome if she is, but you're going to want a girl who's enthusiastic about pleasing you, who's enthusiastic about helping you achieve your goals, right? And that just comes from how invested she is in you, okay? And that is something that you, as a man who's dating and like who has all these skills in his tool belt, you can manufacture that investment. All right. Hopefully you got something good out of this video. My name is Malcolm Tibbs. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Really do leave a comment. It really helps the algorithm. And again, if you want to learn all these little micro skills, if you want to level up your dating fast, click the link in the description below. That's all I have for you guys.